Today I'm going to review the book, The Rainmaker, that I recently finished, and give you what I think are the key takeaways as it may apply to an insurance agency. So here we go. First of all, the Rainmaker, as described in this book, is someone who rings the cash register, someone who sells the most insurance, someone who makes the company the most money, the salesperson, the marketing people in the company. That's how this book defines the Rainmaker. And its intent is to describe what makes an amazing Rainmaker. So I'm going to apply what I've learned here as it pertains to an insurance agency or insurance agent or a producer. So hope you enjoy. The Rainmaker Credo: cherish customers at all times. Treat customers as you would your best friend. Listen to customers and decipher their needs. Give customers what they need. Teach customers to want what they need. Give your customers a little more than they expect. And thank each customer sincerely and often. So after the Rainmaker's list credo, I went on to get into more details of things, which was really cool. The first thing it talked about was to ask yourself, why should this customer or this prospect do business with me or my business or my agency? And the book goes into some things that are really cool, and I suggest you read the book and enjoy what you may learn there. But some things that come to my mind when thinking about this topic is, that's a hard question to answer. You know, when people say, what makes your agency different? So many people say, we provide better customer service, or, you know, that kind of thing. And that's kind of a little hard to measure and make people believe that the experience they're going to have with you is so much better than others. So what I would suggest is this. Wouldn't it be a cool exercise to get you and your team together and assign the task for the next week of each person asking 3 or 5 of their customers they're maybe most connected with, why those people chose your agency, or why those people chose you as an agent to do business with. And that'll be one thing. Just to write this down. Just don't be analyze it too much yet. Just write that down. Why did these people? Because then you can come together at the end of the week as a team. And if several of you have done this exercise, wouldn't it be really cool to kind of categorize this and see how many you get of the same thing? Is it price? Is it convenience? Is it knowledge? Is it reputation? You know, what is it? Then it'd be also cool when you ask them that question, why, you know, after you ask the question, why did you do business with me or choose us when you did? Has that changed? Why do you stay with us today? Because it could be 2 different reasons, you know. Have you delivered on the promise? Has things changed? And maybe the reason they chose you years ago might have been because of convenience. Maybe your agency was close to where they lived. Now they've moved. Why do they do business with you now? Because now that would, in that example, that reason has changed. So that'd be kind of cool. The other thing that may be good, an interesting exercise for you, is think about, and you could assign this to your team if you wanted to do this as a team effort. That might be kind of neat, is to make a list of the people you do business with individually, personally. You could do it with the agency as well, but why did you choose those people? Was it price? Was it service? Where do you get your internet from, at home or at work? And did you choose the internet service that you have because it was the only one that was available, maybe because of the price, because of the quality, you know, the speed, whatever it may be. So make a list of all the people you do business with and ask yourself, why do you do business with them? Because if you start seeing some patterns that commonly convince people to do business with someone, that you could take some of those ideas and apply them that you may not be using now. So that was the first one, you know, to ask yourself, why should this person do business with me? Because they may ask you, that may be something you need to explain to them why they should do business with you. So make sure you understand it. The next thing it talks about is fish where the big fish are. So the book describes the big fish is a quality customer. So as for an insurance agency, that would be someone who might own more things to insure. Maybe they own their business, maybe they own 2 or 3 automobiles, a nice house, maybe more than one house, maybe boats, things like that. So, but it specifically says fish where the big fish are. So it's not just talking about what is a big fish, a great customer, the kind of customer you'd like to have more of, so you can have fewer total customers. But it says fish where they are. So you have to ask yourself, who is the ideal customer for me, and where am I going to find that ideal customer? So do that exercise and see if there's something that and another good way to do this would be think about the people that you most your best customers now, the customers you make the most money off of, or the customers you most enjoy working with. And how did you get them? Look at the source. That's a great idea. Just all that. But look at your source, like in your management system, of all these people, where you got your top 10 or top 20 customers. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? And see where you got those 10 or 20 people. Is there something in common there? And then do more of that things. Invest more money in the source that gets you the best customers. So that's fish where the big fish are. Then another chapter, and in my notes I made it, don't make excuses. I think the chapter was called something like an earthquake is not an excuse, or something like that. But it talked about a sales team that didn't meet a goal because it was an earthquake in one of the regions, and that region complained because they said we couldn't meet our goal for the quarter because of the sales were down because of the earthquake. The company decided not to make an exception, so don't make excuses. And a couple of years later, there was a similar situation with that same company where there was another disaster, unfortunately. This time, that same sales team exceeded the goal because they knew they couldn't slow down just because some things were going on. So I'm not saying that don't be sympathetic to a natural disaster. I didn't write the book, but what I do take away from the book is let's just move forward and let's don't make excuses, and let's don't make excuses. The next thing the book talks about is be kind to everyone. Now, it says be kind to everyone, I think, in the book because it says you don't know who might influence future sales. Well, that's great. That's a good reason to be nice to someone. If that's what makes you be nice to everybody, then good, do that. Think about that reason. But I think it's just good karma anyway. I think if we're kind to one another, that good things happen in life. So let's be nice. Let's be pleasant. Let's don't belittle the server when the meal is not as quick coming out as it should be, or when it's not prepared just right. Let's be kind to people. And my guess is not every time, but overall, things will come back to you. So let's be nice to everyone. And I bet over time things will work out for you better because you've been nice to people. It's just the way life seems to work, in my opinion. I love this next one. Do not talk bad about your competitors. So when you're talking to a prospect and you know you have opportunities to say things about your competition, or snide remarks, or look a certain way, and just don't do it. It's better to say, yeah, they've been around a long time and I've heard some good things about them, or I know them, if that's the case, and they're good people, they're honest people. So it's better to be part of an industry that's good than for you to be saying everybody else around you is bad, because we don't like to hear that. That's just negative. Think about all your conversations being positive. So when you have a chance to mention your competitor, just say, yeah, I've heard of them. I've heard good things about the company, or I've not heard bad things about the company. If you have heard bad things, say, I'm familiar with the company. Would you like me to tell you what I think some of the differences are between our company? And that way you could say we have been in business longer, or we're located and we have more locations or something. But you're not really slamming them. And don't do the thing where you say, yeah, I've heard of them, all right. I've heard of them. I'm not going to say anything, but I've heard of them, because that's silly, and they know what you're talking about. So do not talk about your competitors negatively. In the book, it talks about, in 2 different sections, it talks about returning every phone call every day, and I'm going to include email in that too. Return emails and phone calls same day, no matter what. Now, if you've left early, let's come back to that. Return emails and voicemails every day. Another part of the book, it talks about, it's really cool when you leave someone a voicemail because you're returning their call. They're your customer, and you leave them a voicemail after hours or before hours. That kind of says a lot about you, that you're there working on their behalf above and beyond. So I'm going to roll those 2 in together because they're very similar to me. Return voicemails, return emails every single day. So at the end of the day, try to do it throughout the day, maybe if you check voicemails or emails a couple times a day. But at the very least, before you go home, take a few minutes, because an email or a voicemail that says, I apologize for not getting back to you today. I will have you an answer by lunchtime, on the following day. So that's better than just no response at all. So please respond to emails and voicemails, and it is cool to do it after hours. It's not negative. They may really think that you're there a little later, or you're coming in a little early. And do that, by the way. If you can't get your voicemails returned at the end of the day, come in the next morning a little early and take care of the customer. The book talks about people liking questions. So, we like to ask, people ask about our lives. So if you're insuring a home, a car, a boat, airplane, motorcycle, people love asking, you asking them about that. Where did you get that? How long have you had that? I bet that's a lot of fun. I bet that home has been an amazing place to raise your family. How many kids do you have? So engage with people. Don't make this just a real, what's the year the home was built and the construction and the square footage. Get into the things that matter to the people, because you're trying to build a relationship with them, not the house. The book talks about, do not sell the product, sell what the product does for the customer. So in your case, if you're selling insurance, then you're not selling an insurance product. That's not what you're trying to get the customer emotional and excited about. You're selling the peace of mind that once the customer has this insurance in place, if there's a big storm on the way, if there's an automobile accident, you can worry about people being okay, but we don't have to worry about the finances because we've taken care of that. So you're not selling an insurance product, you're selling peace of mind. That's what the book talks about. So if I'm talking to you and I'm selling an agency management system, I'm not selling a piece of software, I'm selling a automated, structured solution that helps improve your agency's efficiency, helps make your team more coherent, more cohesive, work better together. I'm not just selling software. The next thing it talks about, a couple things that kind of roll together. Again, when you're meeting with a prospect, and really I think you should do this with everyone, turn your cell phones off. Don't have your cell phone on, not even on vibrate, turn face down. Because when you and I are talking and my phone's vibrating, that's so distracting for us both. So turn your cell phones off for that meeting. When you're with someone, make that a high priority and don't have other things kind of going on. And similar to turning your phones off, I think they talk about the concept of when you're in a meeting and a call comes in. So if someone's screening your calls or a receptionist taking your message for you, it's better. So the book says, don't say, yeah, Eddie's in a meeting, can I have him call you back? That just doesn't sound great. And it's certainly like he's not in a team meeting. The book says don't promote team meetings because your customers don't care about your internal meetings. But just to say he's meeting with a client. Now the thing that's a little weird to me, I'm pretty big on transparency and honesty, and I hate to stretch the truth, So use your judgment on this. But where it's saying if you're late for work, they're supposed to say, or if you're responding to them or you're saying, I'm going to be late in the morning. So if you're going to be late in the morning, you're supposed to say, according to the book, I was in a breakfast meeting. And I don't know, that seems kind of weird if you weren't really at a breakfast meeting. So use your judgment on that. But I do agree that it doesn't sound great, especially often, to say he's on vacation, he's sick today, he's hadn't got here yet, he left early, all those things. So I think without lying about all of that, it is fine, and it sounds better to say he's not in the office right now. He's unable to take your call, call him back, we'll call you back later or something like that. So do with that what you will. The book talks about the concept of going for it, and they use the quote that someone came out with a while back that said, you will miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You will miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So if you're considering asking someone, could I quote your insurance? Or if you're considering asking someone after you've quoted, I would appreciate your business, can we go ahead and work together now? If I'm talking to you and you are interested in our website solutions or our agency management system solutions, according to the book, the right thing for me to do is say, I would love to work with you, and can we go ahead and sign up now? Can we go ahead and get started? We'd like to get started with you now. Can we go ahead and sign up? I didn't refine that very well. But you will miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So ask people for the opportunity to quote them. Ask people for the business once you've quoted them. So I could make this video a little longer. That's my highlights of the book. If you're interested in a book, it's a good read. It's not a long book. The chapters are very small, so you could just do one chapter each evening before you go to bed, or each morning, or at lunch. So it's a good book. Not a great book, but a pretty good book. And I like reading books, so I almost never feel like it's a waste of my time. I get something out of the book when I read it. So I hope you've enjoyed this overview. If you have a book you'd like me to read for you and do an overview, I love to read, so let me know and I'll do that. And I really appreciate your time watching this video today. Thank you so much.